And we'll come there. Hello, if we've already gone live.
So it's a bit of a delay, so we wait till we see ourselves go live on our device. There we go.
Do you know it lies that? Because it goes live on there, and then when you watch the actual episode back, it's earlier than it shows us. So it gets us early. Anyway.
Hey there, hi there, hello there, Disney pals, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris show. This is the final rain show before we get Christopher back, is it?
Yes, unless something goes horribly wrong, like next week, because he's doing a show all week, he's playing Sweeney Todd, and he might just say, I'm just knackered, I can't do it. But he said last night, I saw Chris after the show, because I was down at the theatre doing the shutters, which is not a very glamorous thing to do, while they were all enjoying themselves on stage and behind the scenes. And he said he was really looking forward to doing some shows again. So.
Oh, good. We're looking forward to having him.
Yeah.
But is this an opportune moment to tell you I won't be here next week?
I did. Why not?
I'm seeing one of my students in their final college show.
A bro show?
Yeah.
Chris, be forewarned, it's going to be a bro show. Everyone, I really think we should get like a moose head or something. You know, like a basement den.
Yeah, you need to make it look like that. Those half in the bag guys, don't you? From like Red Letter Media.
Yeah.
And get some cider on the go.
Half in the bag.
Right. Hey there, hi there, hello there, Disney fans, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris show. We have some news for you. Are you going to blues us in this time or ding us?
I'm going to ding us in because I don't have my harmonica.
Okay.
Ready?
Nautilus, but nice.
DLP help! I need somebody. DLP help! Not just anybody.
Now
Slow news week.
Yeah, I have been working hard this weekend. I have just walked in half an hour ago, and then we've had to bath the Bonnie and all that kind of thing. So I know nothing about this.
I've had a weekend. Telling you. It's been unbelievable. You don't even know because I haven't seen you.
No, I'm going to say, what have you been doing? You've been here playing I Hat Katamari.
I wish.
Oh no.
You don't even know.
I don't know.
Nope. Anyway.
Right, tell me later. So, do you want to do some who's here?
Yeah, a little roll call.
A little roll call would be great.
Here we go. I like, it's just not the same without the jingles, but it's something kind of funny about this stripped down version that we do. All aboard! Anne was so quick in the chat. I posted the link to this live video at like 1:15, and the second I pressed when it was going to be scheduled for, I went on to check it, and Anne had already commented with evening, and I said that was quick, but Anne says it was a coincidence. She literally just flipped over from pricing up DLP trips in February. What do you think about that?
What's it looking like?
Yeah,
what's the prices looking like? More than you expected, less than you expected? We want figures. There's people in the chat wanting figures.
Anne says, I swear I wasn't stalking. We don't mind stalkers.
We don't mind. Makes us feel loved.
You can stalk us.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, don't troll us though. We've had that before. Or tell us what to do. Which occasionally happens. Flying Flusky says, evening all. It's rather exciting to have the night off work so I can join live this week.
Well, it's exciting to have you. I kind of wish it wasn't quite such a thrown together affair this week.
This is all right. I changed my shirt.
You did.
This is my Dale shirt.
Yeah. From Rescue Rangers.
I posted a picture of me with a moustache on Instagram the other day. Check me out, Hugh_Rain. And I looked like Magnum PI because he's got a very similar shirt in a lot of his photographs. So, and if you take Magnum PI and Indiana Jones, they look like Chip and Dale. If you put them side by side.
And if you take Magnum PI and say it backwards, it's Ip Mugnag.
Is it?
Mugnam.
I suit a moustache, so be warned, one's coming. Hello to Moritz and Gareth Pierce Theme Parks, to give him his full name. John Parker is here, and as is Jimmy and Katia and Emma. The solo show is here again, all the way from over the pond. Hey Stan, he says, hey gang. Hello to Cheryl and Kerry. Good evening. We'll be in and out tonight. Busy. Oof. Tell us about it, Kerry. Tell us about it. You can. Helen is here. Evening all, struggling with all this heat. I like this heat. I know people complain and we're famous for moaning, but I like sleeping on top of the covers with the window open and tossing and turning. I like it. It's fun. It's novel.
No, not for me. Not for me.
I like that film of clamminess you just get all day long. Mind you, I've
been in a theatre all weekend and I've just lived in that film of clamminess.
I did some gardening today. I replaced all the wood chips out there. And my sweatband, I had to wear a headband because I'm so sweaty when I'm gardening.
Like a Rambo headband.
I could wring it out when I'd finished.
Oh.
So I did it onto some weeds.
Dude.
Because that should kill them.
Oh,
because of the salt. Stan from the Solo Show says, I entered a contest to win a trip to DLP. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Bon chance, I think they say. Competition. Cheryl says, just finished your Tarzan episode on your other podcast. Do you know, I can't remember anything about the Tarzan review that we did in our classic show.
We liked it.
Did we?
I think so. I think it was one of those hidden gems from the late Renaissance that kind of slips away, but it's...
I'll have done my impression of you going, Clayton. Clayton. I always listen to the soundtracks after each episode and then watch the movies. You've got me obsessed with Disney history.
Good. Our mission here is complete.
Listeners, that pause was an ill-timed sip of water. But you know, when you can't stop, you can't break off, you have to keep going. I had to keep drinking. Paddy is going this Friday. Can you believe that?
I can't.
Can you believe Paddy's going this Friday?
I have a fabulous trip. Now, Paddy, are you aware, I'm sure you are, that there are still some strikes going on at sporadic times. So I really hope that you don't get the brunt of that. My fingers are crossed for you, Paddy.
I'd like to say it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Depends when you come back. I don't think they're doing weekends, really.
Are they not?
I don't think so.
Got to have a break, haven't you?
Yeah, I think they seem to be having them Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, but then Mondays and...
Okay. Well, really? Well, I hope that's right. Hello to Disney Bride 2013, and Aaron is here. The Solo Show says, that's because Chip and Dale were based off Magnum, PI and Indy.
Is that true? Is that true? I mean, it might be true, but I thought that was one of those kind of urban myth things. That's one of those meme history things.
I can buy that because all it takes is for them to go, well, there's one that's serious about the adventuring and then one that's just got a casual, like, you know, Hawaiian shirt on. Maybe Magnum PI.
I've seen it as a meme, though, those two characters next to each other. But I just thought it was kind of a flippant thing. If it's true, it's true.
I know everyone says this, but then you have to add, and of course, Tom Selleck almost played Indiana Jones. Do you know when people say, oh, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. I can imagine that. There's another universe where he played Indiana Jones, and they're going, oh, Harrison Ford almost played that part. And people are going, oh, I can't see that.
I can see Tom Selleck playing Indiana Jones, no problem.
I can see it more than Harrison Ford. You know what I mean?
I like Harrison Ford's like slightly geeky unlikeliness, though. I like it.
Kerry's explained, husband's at work late, so I'm just running around doing chores. Now it's cooler and getting things ready for bed and school. So that's why busy.
That's very responsible of you. I'm just letting the house go to rack and ruin because I'm lazy. And I'm recording a podcast as well.
Well, you know, there's that. We could do it while we podcast.
That would be an interesting show.
I think you can charge for that. Flying Flusky, I have just finished catching up on the classic show and I'm feeling a little bereft. Will we see some episodes in the near future?
I think we need to get back on it. A, because I really enjoyed it. B, because we've been getting a lot of, like, people were listening to them weekly when we were recording them weekly. But we forgot that when you stop recording them, people carry on listening to them. And we actually have a lot of listeners from things that we recorded 2 years ago, don't we? I'm like, people are going to start wanting this. People are going to start wanting more.
You can tell when very occasionally someone likes one of the hashtags that's buried deep within that show.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, they've liked the hashtag 37 Disney Street plates. So they must have just listened to this episode.
Oh, someone's just watched The Rescuers.
Yeah. We need to do Rescuers. We didn't do that, did we?
We did.
Did we?
Yes, of course we did. Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under.
Oh,
The
no,
classics.
sorry, I meant Chip and Dale.
Okay.
We didn't do that, did we?
No.
Right, okay, so Anne's pricing for DLP. 2 adults, 2 children, Sequoia Lodge Golden Forest Room, character breakfast and flights to and from Manchester for 4 days, 3 nights, looking about 1,800.
Say that's quite outstanding compared to what we're paying for in August.
That is good.
But it's February,
Take
isn't
it.
it? Yeah, it's definitely low season.
Yeah.
We've been in February. There are pros and cons. The price is a pro.
Have we been in February? We've been in January.
We've straddled January to the beginning of February.
Have we?
Yeah. The crowds are a pro. The price are a pro. The weather is a con. And unless you go in half term, there tends to be a lot of stuff down for refurbishment. But it offsets itself. So, potatoes, that's not what I mean at all, is it?
I don't know.
No.
Right, so Emma says they've arranged talks with DLP management, so I think strikes are on hold until then.
There was some on Monday. That's all I know.
Kerry says, I love the Tarzan soundtrack. I spent many holidays in Walt Disney World listening to Pocahontas and Mulan soundtracks on my Walkman. Wonderful memories when I listen now.
Mulan, underrated soundtrack. Love that soundtrack. I want some love for Hunchback of Notre Dame. No one ever seems to remember it. I think that's the best Disney soundtrack. Mencken.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, but I can see why you'd enjoy it. It's quite rousing. Anne says, that said, I've reached the point where I have a gap between modules, so we're going regardless. Good a reason as any.
Yes.
Paddy is back on Monday, so hopefully no strike. Well, yeah, hopefully. Right. I believe that was it. Oh, Anne says it was then all September 2025.
Oh, that's way too far away. Don't do that. Don't do that.
So, should we look at some news then?
Let's look at news. So, Nautilus or nice, Huey? What's that
Nautilus
all about?
but nice.
Nautilus but nice.
The pun, naughty but nice.
Yes.
To over-explain it. Well, it's opening on Saturday. Is that 1st of July?
Yes.
Captain Nemo's ship sails again. There's not much news other than, I think, that's the day. Which
There's not much sailing, if you're honest. It's quite a... do you know what I liked, Hugh?
What?
I liked it when they used that as a meet and greet location.
It's not a bad idea, is it? What was Mickey wearing in there? Was he wearing like a silver outfit? It was Mickey, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
He was wearing something special.
He was. Was it his steampunk outfit?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I think it was his steampunky anniversary outfit.
What's it called in the original French?
Okay. Le Mystère du Nautilus.
Le Mystère du Nautilus. Well, reopened 1st of July.
Thing is, when it was a meet and greet, you walked very slowly through it because it was a queue. And as a result, you spent a lot of time looking at all the things. Now, you're at leisure to do that anyway, but we tend to storm forward a bit more. But you can genuinely look at every single Easter egg and detail as you walk slowly through. And then the actual venue is quite an atmospheric area for a meet and greet. And I do not think it's a popular attraction, and it should be. And it's because there's nothing to make people go down. So that's my 2 pence. It was a good meet and greet attraction. However,
Aaron confirms it was the steampunk outfit.
No more.
And Aaron's reliable, so there we go.
Always said that about
Aaron. Bonnie won't go into the Nautilus because she's afraid. And thing is, it's been shut for nearly 21 months or something. And I think enough time's passed, but then she kind of carries that memory with her and she says, I don't want to go in. So we have to take it in turns if we go, don't we, normally? So it's a bit of a rush job.
She's a pansy. That's all I'm saying.
Aaron also said, sorry, just started some keys. Aaron also said that they watched Muppet Treasure Island. Sorry, hang on. Is it Muppets Treasure Island?
Do I need to check?
I think it's called Muppets Treasure Island.
I think it is because it's different to...
Well, Aaron watched it for the first time and not as funny, obviously not as good as The Muppet Christmas Carol.
The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Still enjoyed it. I think it's called Muppets Treasure Island. It's so inconsistent. Everyone's called like The Muppets, The Muppets.
Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppet.
Singular.
Are you sure?
Yes.
There is a Muppets. Okay. All right. What are you looking on here?
IMDb.
Okay.
No, I know you all really needed that sorting out then. I know you're like, we can't take anything you do seriously until you get this correct.
That's the kind of thing we do, though, on this show.
We have our value.
We have it's our mantra is, get the exact wording right of a film title. So Nautilus, what are your thoughts on Nautilus, guys? Or just Discoveryland in general? Because it's the kind of thing that Nautilus in particular, if it went away, I would miss it. I would. I'd want it back. So it's just one of those things that even if I don't visit it, I want to know it's there.
Now, I'd slightly feel differently about that because it's one of those things, if it's not there, I don't miss it. I don't think about it. If our plans take us elsewhere, I don't think, oh, man, I'm really missing the Nautilus, not like Small World. However, when someone says, the Nautilus is open, would you like to go down it? I always go, ooh, yes, I would. And then I really enjoy it.
Yeah. It's just always surrounded
by...
complex
feelings.
It's just always surrounded by this thing where Bonnie's like, I'm afraid I don't want to go in. So it's never like smooth passage, is it? Yeah. I think someone suggested, or was it me? I think I originally suggested it, and then someone else maybe backed me up. Maybe it was Mark Chester. Someone suggested a Muppet takeover of Discoveryland.
Yeah.
And I think it would be great.
They could do Muppet from Space, Muppet Treasure Island.
It wouldn't have to be that big. They could just change some names of the rides and have like one character somewhere on each ride. Just a little takeover.
Can I comment on that?
No.
And this might not be accurate, so I'm going to say this I think I remember hearing somewhere that Disney don't have the European rights to the Muppets.
Okay.
There's a reason. I think there's a reason there's no Muppets in Paris.
Do you know what? There's not a Muppet.
There's not a Muppet to be seen.
There's not even a Sam Eagle.
No.
It is the British way.
No, not beast nor fowl.
You can comment up on there, please.
Yeah.
I want to see if anyone has any thoughts on Discoveryland in general. But again, we know I have some perverse tastes. Like my favourite area of anywhere in Disney so far that I've seen, including all the resorts and everything, is Dinoland USA. So take what I say with a pinch of salt. But I do like the kind of nostalgic feeling of Discoveryland. It feels very early 90s, and as someone who's born in the 80s, that's like it's formative times. So I do like Discoveryland a lot.
Emma says, wow, I didn't ever think that was opening again. Thing is that there's always this feeling when you get those really, really long closures with no explanation, you're like, they're going to Pizza Planet it, aren't they? Do you want to tell the newbies what Pizza Planeting something is?
What Pizza Planeting something is?
There used to be a restaurant in Discoveryland called Pizza Planet.
Yeah.
And it shut.
Mm-hmm.
And it remained on the map for about 10 years. And then eventually it just disappeared off the map. But it was only closed for refurbishment. It just never opened again. You know what I mean? It could
rise again.
It could.
It's weird to think.
There must still be a building there. Someone needs to get on the old drone and see what's going on. Or maybe it's gone.
It's weird to think there's a space down there for a restaurant. It'd be storage or something there.
So the Solo Show says, for the Nautilus, just as long as the captain of the Titanic sub isn't driving it...
Too soon.
Too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
I can let you be the judge whether that's too soon. That's put me off going down to the Nautilus, so I'll tell you. Can we change Hyperspace Mountain to have Animal Blast off to space with a really heavy drum music? Yes, we can. We can make it so. That sounds brilliant.
That was Aaron.
Cheryl, I think that's why I enjoyed the Muppets in Florida, because we don't have any in our park. That's
right.
Yeah,
because Solo Show Stan also adds that there are no Muppets in any of the international parks.
They must have got the US rights. I think that sounds familiar. Don't take my word for it. That sounds familiar. Not fussed. Kerry isn't fussed about the Nautilus, but there needs to be more in Discoveryland, something futuristic. I'd really like to see, and it's not going to happen, them double back down on the original past idea of the future a la Jules Verne thing in Discoveryland. Instead of going Star Wars and stuff like that, I want to see that kind of retro future. Not going to happen. If they're going to do anything, they're going to IP it. But I think there must be room for expansion in that area. Well, we know there's the patch where Pizza Planet used to be.
Hello, Dan. Yeah. I wish... I know everyone says it was bad, but even a bad restaurant down there would be something, wouldn't it? A bad Pizza Planet. I love the idea of a Pizza Planet restaurant.
I really like the area behind Hyperspace Mountain.
It's quiet.
Because it's quiet and it's not a secret spot, it's not really a shortcut, but it's a road less travelled, shall we say. And then you think, what's Mickey's PhilharMagic doing there? Well, I'll tell you what it's doing there. They already had a 4D cinema, so they needed to put something in, and that already existed in the States. But it's no business being there, has it? As an attraction in Discoveryland.
Yeah.
Just no business. However, I do like that area, and that's where you get your Mustafa bites and your that kind of thing.
My favourite.
Yeah.
Hello from sunny Paphos. The Dunn family are here, joining us from Paphos.
Dunn family. No new ones here. Knock down Discoveryland. Build Galaxy's Edge. All right. We know where you stand. I don't agree with that, but we know where you stand.
Moritz says the area where Pizza Planet was is rumoured to be turning into Galaxy's Edge type area with a Star Wars themed Tron ride. Apparently they'll clear that area in 2024. And Aaron also adds there's rumours/theories of an expanded Star Wars area behind Star Tours. I mean, I hope something of that comes true, but I don't know. I can't see it.
I think all of this will be shelved until after the expansion of the studios, and that's going to take till 2050 at this rate. So just hold your horses.
I agree with this, Stan. Tomorrowland should be retro futuristic looking, in my honest opinion. Give it a Jetsons look. I'm loving that. That's
kind of what they're trying to do in the States ones, isn't it? But it's all a bit mishmashy.
The closest you get to any Jetsons in the parks is the little animated bit which uses your photographs on Spaceship Earth. That kind of tomorrow, today, whatever that little segment is, where it captures your face. But that's quite Jetson.
It captures your face really jankily though, doesn't it?
Jane, his wife.
There's always a bit of background chunk kind of stuck to your head and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Bonnie's always got like a witch's hat of like pixels on top of her head. Yeah, It's a shame when that doesn't work. We've never had a good one on there. It doesn't capture your face properly because it's dark when it takes a photograph.
And last time I kind of knew it was janky, so I thought full face, chin up, smile, I know where the camera is. Didn't work.
No.
Right. What's our other piece of news?
Well,
DLP help. Now, can I just say, because you didn't put a space there, I thought it was DL Phelp.
DL Phelp.
As in Michael Phelps.
The fishman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is just the Twitter account at DLP Help tweeted this week stating, please note that this account will cease replying to public and private messages as of 1st of July.
I'll bet it will.
2023. You can still reach out to our customer service via our website in the help and contact section, Facebook Messenger or Instagram Direct. So there are still channels to talk to them. And then they said, see you real soon. But then in response to that, because people were saying, why? Why doing this? Well, what's the point of this account then? They said, due to recent changes in Twitter policy, we will no longer maintain our customer service on this platform. Our team remains available to assist you on Messenger and Instagram direct message. We thank you for your understanding. Hello, Andrew.
Changes in Twitter policy.
Yeah, so, I mean, it doesn't... Because at first, they tweeted that and it just sounded like they were going, right, we're not answering any more questions. And then people were furious. But if they say it's something to do with Twitter policy, then I'm inclined to believe them. But then I noticed also after that the same message was posted on the @Disney Paris and then the English version at Disney Paris _EN, they said the same thing. So all of these like official accounts, for some reason on Twitter, they're not able to talk to you.
There's been some chat going on. Let me see. Oh, Katia says, I see a lot of people saying they don't really reply on the other channels. And Emma saying Musk wants all accounts to pay to be verified on Twitter. There's also the kind of, macro issue that Twitter is a dumpster fire. And why would you want to be there?
My principles and Yorkshire tightness would mean, because ultimately Musk wants everyone to pay, and if that was a rule, I wouldn't be on it anymore. I don't want to pay that more on anything.
I am on Twitter. I enjoy Twitter. I look on Twitter daily.
As much as one can enjoy Twitter.
Exactly. This is what I'm going to say.
And bin fire.
It's just so
idiots.
many times I'm just
flicking through
going, I need to cold turkey myself off Twitter for my mental health, because I find it a very stressful space to be in.
Really is.
That's just me sharing. And yet still I go on. What is it with human beings? Why do we do this to ourselves?
It's just addictive.
It is. They know what they're doing. If there's other channels there, then that's fine. I've always found this help desk on Twitter a bit of a cesspit for companies, because if you just go on something like British Airways, you just get tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet going, no leg room here, and you can't find my ticket, and my 2-year-old was doing this, and you know what I mean? You're like, we don't care.
Yeah.
These people just moan.
It's funny, isn't it? Like any post from any company, it can be about the most innocuous thing, but then someone say, rubbish service in your Beeston store today.
Yeah.
You're like, we're not talking about that at the moment, mate. It's just like,
yeah,
people love just taking down the big guy, and like, for all, especially Brits. I don't know if it's a British thing, but
so maybe it's just not the place for this service. It is taking away a very direct line to customer service.
Because Twitter's normally the best. Like
the quickest.
If I've got an issue with something like that when we got delivered, I want to say the wrong sofa. It was the right sofa, but the website just showed the wrong colour. Someone on Twitter got straight back to me, and I wasn't even really like expecting. I wasn't directly engaging them. They just kind of found me and sorted it out. And I found that in the past that if you do have a legitimate complaint,
because it's public,
Twitter, there's so much. I once had my PayPal account cancelled, and I don't know why. And when I rang, they said there's fraudulent activity on your account. This was years ago, when I literally went on eBay, Amazon, and I paid for a cloud hosting service. That's all I did. And for some reason, I got flagged up. No idea why. And when I rang them, I was told, I said, I've got to open a new one then. And she went, no, you can't use Twitter ever again. She was Irish. I went, I can't use Twitter ever again. She said, no, you can't use Twitter ever again. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I went on Twitter and someone sorted it out for me in a day.
That went a little un-Disney, that did, for a second. So I'm going to bring it back.
It happens.
Yeah. Emma says, I haven't done Twitter for years. My social media use is purely pretty Disney and cat pictures on Instagram. Emma, you must be such a happy person. This is what I need to do. I need to just any social media I take part in now needs to just be purely Disney. And then it'll just bring me joy and happiness. But that's not the case. I have all the toilet water thrown in.
Gareth says, totally agree. I complained about a beer company on Twitter and ended up getting a free football shirt and free beer.
Top tips, people. Top tips.
I mean, sometimes you do need to complain, but it's these people that think that we care about someone who was having a bad day in a branch in Bingley.
Do you know what I just realised this moment because I'm so busy?
What?
Today is the day
that the Lord has made.
That our 11-month window opens up for DVC bookings for the dates we want to go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So we will.
So bye. We're going to book that. Bye.
Yeah. When we finish there, we book our home resort. These people who are interested in DVC, we're going to have to book our home resort, which is Saratoga Springs at 11 months. And then at 7 months, you can book all the other resorts. But our plan this time is to then amend the Saratoga Springs booking to, can you remember?
Old Key West.
Yeah.
And nope, it's gone.
Wilderness Lodge.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We're going to do a split stay. So we haven't stayed neither of those two before. So that's our next plan. So this isn't really the fun bit tonight because I can almost guarantee that there'll be availability and it's just going on and placeholdering it.
Yeah, so
it's the first step.
So we get that. And if the others fall through, then we can always just stay at Saratoga.
We've locked in a hotel, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
It's good.
Yay! Funsies.
And, you know, if we had to stay at Saratoga, that would be absolutely fine.
Do love Saratoga. We were speaking to someone today where it's their favourite resort, weren't we?
Yeah, and it's weird because it's not the most themed resort, but it just has a really nice vibe, man. It's a lovely resort. There's a bit actually on one of my videos where I was doing a bit of a tour and I took out the audio because it was too sincere, and I'm not very sincere on those videos, where I was saying it was a beautiful resort, and I don't like the way I sound when I say beautiful. It's too earnest. So I dubbed over it.
That's right, he's never said it to me. Not once.
No,
I don't think
I'd use another word. I wouldn't say beautiful.
He has not told me that I have a nice face, but I don't think you've ever said, you're so beautiful. What would I do if you said that? If you looked me in the eyes and said that?
Could you keep a straight face if I said, "Yo, you look so beautiful"?
I would think you were drunk. I would.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll get drunk and I'll tell you look beautiful. You're beautiful. Have you ever stayed at Treehouse at Saratoga Springs? Says Stan.
No, it's on the list.
Went for a walk around there. We almost stayed in there, didn't we?
We considered it. Well, this is the thing. There's no reason for the three of us to stay in the tree houses. And last time we went with my mum.
Isn't it?
Well, we could, but it's like a 3-bedroom thing.
Okay.
So it'd be a bit greedy.
Yeah.
The last time we went with my mum and dad, who would not deal well with those stairs that take to go up. We'd need somewhere with lift and mobility access. We had a scooter we had a wheelchair with us at some point.
An ECV, right?
No, we didn't have the electric one. We had the pushy push one.
Oh, of course we did, yeah.
Anyway, but it's definitely on our bucket list thing. But I think it'll be when we treat some friends, when we take some friends with us, we might.
Just gotta find some friends.
I'm sure there would be volunteers in the chat if we offered to take them to the Saratoga tree houses.
You're all our friends.
Also, my idea was to pay off that lot of DVC points and then buy another cheeky top up, just so that we had a bit more freedom to do stuff like that, because we're a bit tight on points. But we haven't done that because the prices have soared and the money is tight, and I'm still shopping, but we'll see. So there you go.
Gareth is going to... Yeah, dude.
I've unplugged it now, you're off that.
Gareth is going to Pop Century at Disney World in 13 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Just 13 weeks is nothing. I'm so jealous.
I think if next time we have to do a cash stay, usually because we've run out of points, I think it will be Pop Century.
Yeah. Save a bit of money. We stayed at Art Animation for one night once. And that was nice enough.
I think when we did Coronado Springs last time, it was because it was the same price as Pop Century, because sometimes those weird price anomalies happen, don't they? Where you can get a moderate for the same price of value, but Pop Century would be the way to go, I think. So, well, Charles.
Emma's been pricing up trips for next year, looking at either 5 days in California or 3-night Disney cruise.
Tough one.
Not for me, I'd go to California.
Do you know, Bonnie just goes along with the Disney thing. She loves it. She can't wait to get back to Disney World, Disneyland Paris. She loves it all. But the one thing that she has quite pointedly said that we have not initiated the last few months twice is, Mummy, do you know what I'd really love to do again? I'd love to go on another Disney cruise. And it's her saying it, not us. So I don't know how spoiled an 8-year-old can be where the parents buy them a Disney cruise. That's a bit crazy. But she's well for it. So anyone who's got children and think, cruise, no, they're not really for them. They won't like it. They're too young for a cruise. She was 5 when she went, wasn't she?
Yeah.
6 maybe.
And she went into the Disney Club thing, the kids club, which we tried to do when we first went to Florida, but she was too young and we booked it and everything, but she didn't want to go. I understand that.
Yeah.
We're in a foreign place. If we just kind of go, right, you're going in here. In fact, when we went on our DVC tour, she was
we had to go and get her.
About 10 minutes after we were sat down in the room, we got the call. I had to go and pick her up. She's just, I think some kids can just switch off and go, right, I'm playing now for a bit. That's fine. I'll do that. But she was thinking, where have they gone? Are they coming back?
Yeah. But yeah, so Disney, well, I mean, also California's on our bucket list. We've never been to California, so I think I would rather do that first than another Disney cruise, but that is a tough choice because we're so in favour of Disney cruises. I wouldn't say cruises in well, yeah. I really want to go to Castaway Cay.
Oh yeah, I'd like to do that. We just went on the staycation once, so we didn't get off.
I'd also really like to go to Alaska.
I wanted to get off.
You wouldn't. I've been.
Restaurants were good. That was fine.
I do a little eyebrow at the relocation cruise that's transatlantic, because price per night is like rock bottom for cruise levels because they struggle to fill it. But you would not be in for an 11 nights where 8 of it was not get off the ship, would you?
No.
Good value there. For some people, they don't get off the ship anyway. They stay on.
Yeah, some people. When we went on a cruise once in 2014 around the Mediterranean, and some people just stayed on, didn't they?
It surprised us, but thinking about it now, these are probably people.
Do you want that coconut pudding?
It was highlight.
I want to tell you, right? We got on the first day and we were sat at a table, and there was a coconut pudding for dessert, and we were going, oh, this with custard. We're going, oh, this coconut sponge is amazing. We're loving it. And then how long was it? Was it 2 weeks?
No, it was 1 week, I think.
All right. But on the last day, we were one of the last groups to get off. What'd you say? Get off? Disembark. So we got the last meal. Our last meal was with the people who were having their first meal. There's that slight crossover of one meal. And the people around our table were going, oh, this coconut pudding. Yeah. And we were going, noobs.
Yeah. But I think we'd had that coconut pudding from that buffet.
No, it was only on the first day. And it came back and we got to enjoy it again. But we were like, yeah, we are. Well,
I mean, it was the little pink sponges I kept having. Anyway. My little one will be 5 when we do our cruise. I'm looking forward to not having to walk miles and queue like you have to at the parks.
Says Cheryl.
It's a different holiday. Yeah, it's a different thing, but it's also not so different. Like we're not beach holiday people or all inclusive. Maybe you could be. I'm not.
I could be. With the option to go off into the hills when I want.
And do adventurous things.
Yeah.
And if I'm beach holiday if there's water sports. I'm not a sit and read my book on the beach for 2 weeks kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's not that kind of, there's still so much to do. There's still activities and fun and Disneyness everywhere. Highly recommend.
Moritz said Space Mountain is supposed to undergo a big refurbishment soon and be turned back to Jules Verne. I hope not.
Hyperspace Mountain.
I don't know.
Was only ever temporary for certain seasons, and it's been hyperspace and turned back again once, I think, and then turned back to hyperspace. So it's always got that possibility of going back.
What would it be a big draw to have it just be Space Mountain? Like, would people be going, I'm not one for IP overlays, as you know. But in that case, I can't imagine more people wanting to ride it if it was almost...
If they stripped it.
Well, you say like stripped back, but it's not quite that, is it? It's like... It was slightly different, although I don't remember it.
I like the moon. Very like the moon. I liked him. thing is, your Disney fans would flock worldwide if you brought back the Jules Verne Space Mountain. I don't think your regular punter would. You know what I mean? All these people in the chat would be geeking it up, wouldn't they? Going, Disney history, I must go. But not your average person. That's the problem. Your average bear ruins the Disney geekiness for us hardcore Disney nerds, because that's who they sell the product to, and that's why the IP, everything.
They're trying to get new people in by going, kids love princesses and Star Wars, let's put that on everything. And me as an adult, I want to go somewhere that feels like I'm in another country than, the resort that I'm in. Even though it's like a kind of a fake Disney-fied version of, Polynesia or, the Wild West. I like all that stuff.
Do you know what I think's sad? There are elements of Disney where the ride and the attraction came first. The most notable being Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie. I'm old enough to remember when that was a ride, not a movie. And Haunted Mansion, obviously has become a thing. Tower of Terror, even small things like Figment from the Journey to Imagination. That character is just a parks only thing.
Well, Tower of Terror's not.
It's Twilight Zone, but it wasn't an episode of the Twilight Zone.
No.
They invented the tower. So that straddles something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Kind
of. But my point is, I get very sad when I don't think we will ever see an original attraction that is strong enough to spawn franchises in its own right that starts as an attraction. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
Yeah, I can't imagine someone pitching something and going, yeah, it's a runaway mine train from nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Big Thunder Mountain. Although Big Thunder Mountain hasn't really spawned other things.
Oh, do you know what? I said that. I was forgetting about Big Thunder Mountain. I thought I'd come up with a good idea for a ride then.
Or maybe they would. Maybe they would make another Big Thunder Mountain. Would they though without an IP? I don't think they would.
No, it's just the way they are now. It's all IP based. It's backwards thinking.
And that makes me feel just really, really sad. It's the same with like building new resorts and stuff. They're either going to be bland as heck and look like Marriott's, or they're going to be a Moana resort.
Yeah. That box that they're building next to the Polynesian. We'll probably end up staying there, but
Oh, it's sad. I do want to stay at the Polynesian again so much. It's still my favourite. Is it yours?
Yeah, I think so.
Although I anticipate Wilderness Lodge being my favourite.
It was so nice, a Polynesian. It's almost sickly, and you almost don't want too much of it because, you know what I mean? It's so nice. It's like...
And luxury.
It's like a cheesecake. You can have too much and then you don't want to touch it for months. Feels like that, whereas sometimes you just want an apple, which is Saratoga Springs.
Do you know what? We've gone all Disney World. Let's talk Disneyland Paris again.
Okay.
Newport Bay. Sorry, I couldn't remember what it was called. I was going to call it the white one. Newport Bay is meant to be one of our luxury things at this level. And what I'm hearing is it's rather run down.
Yeah.
And it's not got that luxury. And because it's so big, the facilities it does have are crowded. And so are we hoping that reopening the Disneyland Hotel will kind of take the pressure off these other two top ends? And that's what made me think it. I can imagine the Disneyland Hotel just being a bit too nice for me. Just a bit too nice.
Yeah, there's
scrubbers.
4 resorts I haven't stayed at in DLP.
You haven't stayed at Santa Fe, have you? I have.
Santa Fe, Newport Bay.
I've stayed at Newport Bay.
Hotel New York, the Disneyland one.
Disneyland Hotel. So I haven't stayed at Hotel
loads.
New York and Disneyland Hotel. And thing is, I'm really struggling to know when the money will be available to do that. Because I'd rather quantity rather than quality. I would rather go more often and save the money is the thing. Whereas I know Chris, when he goes, he would rather only go once every 18 months, but stay at the Disneyland Hotel. We're kind of the opposite of that. And Savers like doing it for one night for the novelty and to be able to tell you guys what it's like. I can't see us doing 4 days at the Disneyland Hotel, can you?
No, unless we win the lottery.
But even one night can be 800 quid, you know.
Yeah. Wow.
And you think how long you could stay at Resid Home for?
We should stay at Santa Fe. You stayed there once, but
I liked it.
I've never seen the building. Really, I mean, I've driven past it, but we've never been into it.
Good people of the chat. Just you can be typing this while Hugh's talking. Are you quantity or quality when it comes to Disneyland Paris trips? Continue.
It's not quite the same, you can make a day of visiting resorts in Florida, can't you?
Oh yeah.
I don't really feel like you would do that in Paris. You can do. But...
We did go for a nosy around the Art of Marvel Hotel, and it was quite nice to look at the ground floor, wasn't it? They've got quite a lot going on.
Yeah. You tend to be there for a short period of time, so dedicating that, because Florida, if you're there for a couple of weeks, or 12 days or something, you need a break, and having a break can be going around the resorts, and it's that's one of my favourite things to do. I could spend an entire day checking out all the resorts that I haven't been to yet.
Honestly,
I'd love to do that.
If they ever took away this 14-day UK ticket and we could only get a 7 and it was extortionate to get more, I would just going around the resorts but doing 2 a day, time well spent. Especially, but you can't pool hop, that's the problem.
No, in fact we went to Animal Kingdom, didn't we, for a look around, and we just happened to be walking towards the pool as someone who was staying there, a guest there, was opening the gate, so we just kind of followed them in, didn't we? Which is a bit dodgy, but maybe that's something to look at, because it's very easy to get in.
I mean, the pool bar is there.
Bonnie
as
made
well.
a necklace, remember?
We didn't have our swimming togs with us, did we? But the pool bar was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not quite the same. But the problem is they're not resorts, they're hotels. They're meant to be hotels. They know that people don't stay for 2 weeks. They know that it's a base for the parks. There's a lot of people saying quantity over quality. Carla says definitely quantity over quality. Mel Mycroft says it's hard to justify the cost of the hotel when you spend so little time there. Exactly. Kerry says quantity. You spend your time in the park, not the hotel. You can always walk around the hotel. Cheryl loves Santa Fe. I think I'd rather pick a Disney themed hotel than pay a fortune for the Disneyland Hotel, which looks a bit too posh and boring for me. We've often said this. I find it odd that the higher the price range you get, the less
fun.
Themed they are. Although I think that the Art of Marvel has finally kind of booked that trend, because that's a very themed thing. But it's always been the way, and I like the giant cartoon characters and stuff like that. I like it.
Yeah.
What will people say now? Emma says she's only stayed at Sequoia and Santa Fe. Just can't justify the expensive Hotel New York or Disneyland Hotel. We do need to do Santa Fe next time, Huey. Just for the experience.
It has to be done right though, doesn't it? Because I can't shake that image of contemporary pillows with Edna Mode's face on as a graphic image of her face. And you're like, that's your theming. It's pathetic. It really is. It really is bad.
Aaron says, I really, really like Cheyenne. He did 2 reallys, so he means it. They mean it. I actually quite enjoy the walk from Cheyenne. You get ready and awake in the morning.
Stan sent us that video, I remember, a few weeks ago, and told us about his final day on his walk there, from the Cheyenne to the village.
For a long time, I just thought Cheyenne was our resort. I just thought that's where we went. That's where we went years and years ago. That's where we went when we first started going again, isn't it? Stayed twice in a row, I think.
I think it's still my favourite.
And I've got such a visceral nostalgia of that kind of area where the pony tracks are and the gift shop and just walking through there. That now, do we want to stay at Cheyenne again?
Yeah.
Rather than Santa Fe? If they were both the same cost, where would you go? Santa Fe because you've never been there?
I've never seen
or
it.
Cheyenne because it's ours.
But I can't imagine Santa Fe being better than the Cheyenne.
I liked it. I don't think it is better. I think there's too many car parks between buildings. So you have to walk through car parks to get to bits.
Yeah, you don't want that, do you?
Let's do Cheyenne again.
Yeah.
But we're in Sequoia again this time. It's all the rule.
It was cheaper than staying off site.
It was cheaper than staying off site, and it was like 20 quid more than Cheyenne. And so we're like, why not? But actually, now I'm having this discussion, I kind of half wish that we'd booked Cheyenne.
It'd be nice though, because we stayed there in January and it's a very different feeling. It's, dark and wet and cold. Not inside the hotel. Not Saratoga.
Sequoia.
Sequoia Lodge.
So
so
many
it'd be nice to
people-
go in summer as we're going.
So many people say Sequoia's the favourite. It's just it, and other people like other resorts, but there's something about Sequoia that gets people.
Who was it that had that awful trip there recently? Was there a vlog about it? The plug didn't work.
Oh, the plugs don't work. Was that you, Stan? I can't remember. No, there's a ridiculous lack of outlets. Ridiculous. And like a lot of people, they thought, oh, well, I'll unplug the standard lamp and use that. But then when you turn the lights off, it thinks it's a light. So it turns the plug socket off.
Who was that?
And then you can't charge things. I don't know, but I knew that. I should have done a tips video for you because I knew that was going to happen. It's really bad. Stan Solo says, had a friend staying at the Grand Floridian and I was at Pop. We left Magic Kingdom at the same time and I got to my room before they did because the lines for the monorail and the boat were so long. Crazy. Although having said that, we would walk, wouldn't we? Oh, mind you, that walking path's only recently opened, hasn't it?
Has it opened again?
Oh yeah, because it shut, didn't it?
It did shut.
Wow, that's crazy that you got all the way to Pop, because that's a fair distance from the Magic Kingdom.
If somewhere takes longer, as people who are quite able-bodied, I must add, I would rather walk for longer than wait for 10 minutes for something.
Yeah.
Even if it takes a little, I like to be moving.
It does depend on the time of day, though. If you've already had a 10-hour park day, you might not necessarily feel like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as a general rule, I agree with you. I'd rather be active.
We still haven't walked back to Saratoga Springs from Disney Village, Disney Springs, because
no, we didn't.
You can walk there, but it's so big, that resort, that like you're on the boat for like 10 minutes and the resort is stretching all the way down to Disney Springs. And like if you're staying at like up towards the tree houses,
could not have been further.
It's going to be half an hour walk, 40 minutes maybe to walk all that distance.
It's silly.
20 minutes for me though.
I must say, when we were saying I'm worried about Disneyland Hotel being too posh for us, we thought that about Grand Floridian, and we're like, we're going to book one night just for the novelty so we can tick it off our list and say we stayed there. But we loved it, didn't we?
The room we had was just great. It was like
beautiful.
But there wasn't really a view. We were kind of looking out onto a rooftop, like a red rooftop. But it felt really enclosed and there's palm trees. I like that.
So I think that we might...
The room was nice, man.
Fork out for that again, maybe. See if we can...
Maybe another one-night job.
Well, I don't know. Maybe a nice 3-night. Get an off-peak, see if we can wangle it. We can't afford a water view or a theme park view, but if we can look at the bins, we'll be happy. Stan is clearing it up. Stan's saying it's reopening now, but was closed at the time. They were waiting for the boats. The
pathway
walkway
from Magic Kingdom to
they got tired of waiting in line. This is my thing with people who get the bus at Disneyland Paris. Baffles me, because you only get it to the train station, don't you?
Right.
So you're staying at Cheyenne and you get the bus to the train station, and then you have to walk from the train station to the park entrance, which is at least like half the distance. So, but you've had to wait for a bus, potentially stand on the bus, and still got a walk at the end of it.
Again, it goes without saying that we're referring to people who don't need to.
If it's a mobility issue,
yeah, obviously,
but we know some able-bodied people who.
Because it's like I never understand people who, and this is most people, I might add, so I'm going to offend everybody, but I don't get people who stand still on a downward moving escalator because you've chosen. I mean, you get vertigo on there, so you're allowed. But
Thank you.
Lucy goes up an escalator, I swear to God, like Elf. Do you know when he grabs the sides and his legs are like split?
I'd be offended, but it's true.
I've seen her do that, and sometimes the handrail moves quicker than the stairs. And I've seen her like leaning forward, terrified as she goes up.
The London Underground is my nemesis.
A downward moving, upwards I get, right? I still walk up it, but upwards I get. But it's the downward one. You're choosing to go slower. The great benefit of an escalator for me is I'm covering that distance in half the time because it's moving and I'm walking. People just go, right, I'm on this now, so I stand still and just do nothing.
It's worse when they do it
switch their brains off.
Flat walkways in airports.
Oh yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, the point of those is to
speed up the traffic.
Yeah.
And then you get someone with 4 suitcases just standing still in the middle of it.
I'm sorry to keep saying this, but again,
if that's you, have a word with yourself.
We're only referring to people who
able-bodied
people who don't have any mobility issues who just choose to stand in the way. Anyway, been grumpy again.
Well, there's just people in our way everywhere we go. They're annoying.
I did say in the car once, didn't I? We were driving along and I said, yeah, the world's just full of people getting in my way.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you know what? I sound like a rotter, but I'm generally quite polite when I'm out in public. Yeah. Don't worry about me going, get on my way. I'm a very polite young boy.
We save all our aggression for our podcast audience.
What are you going to say? I don't know.
I am a very polite driver. I do everything correctly, but I will moan to high heavens about certain types of drivers, and I'll be shouting out the window. Of car. And I never pit my horn. Never.
Two types of car in particular.
Yeah.
There's an issue.
I do think each other. Oh, this is Cheryl. I keep forgetting to say things. Cheryl says, I do think each hotel at DLP appeals to different types of families. We love Santa Fe because we have a boy who loves cars. But as he grows up, we will look at other themes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely right. And it's those two in particular. If you love Toy Story or you love cars, brilliant. And then, like you say, your older couples who go just the two of them, it's if it's cheap, that's fine, but they might have more fun at these slightly more.
Yeah, something for every age.
I think I'll still like the silly cartoon theming even when Bonnie's up and left.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that would be weird for, like, for couples of a certain age or anyone of a certain age to go to, like, the Art of Marvel and stay in a Little Mermaid room as, like, a 70-year-old man on a solo trip. Is that weird?
Yeah.
It can be weird.
There are options.
It can be normal. Depends who you are.
I'm
a bit judgy. I don't mean to be judgy.
Some people have lovely little chats between themselves in the chat, and then I nearly read out the thing, and I'm like, oh, they're just talking to each other.
Don't interrupt.
So I won't read that out.
Flying Flusky says, amen, and don't you dare stand on the left. Yeah. Leeds train station. A lot of people didn't get the memo about this standing on the right.
You see, I would rather walk up the stairs 2 at a time, I think, for speed than stand still, but sometimes it's not an option. I
pride myself at getting off the train anywhere and being the first to the ticket barrier out of the entire train.
Can I tell you something else the Rainers are good at?
Yeah.
And if you interrupt us in this mission, we will dead-eye you. And that is when a show finishes at the theatre, we can stand up and walk out of the theatre like that, up, off. And these people who are standing at their seats putting coats on. Instead of just carrying the coat out, they stand at the seat putting the coats on and looking for the glasses and getting the handbag up and looking for the car keys, stood at the seat.
The thing is, not everyone's like us. They're a lot more chill. But I think if the show's over, do you know what?
You don't even know we were there.
I can get out of a theatre if I'm on my own and I'm like on the end row. I can get out surprisingly fast out of a show.
Yes, no, it doesn't surprise
to the
me.
point where they haven't opened the doors yet, and they go, "Oh, is it finished?"
It's like stand, turn, leave. I've
been known to not even wait for the
timpani drum is still vibrating.
For the curtain.
We've left.
Curtain call. I'm like, right, I get it. Because they do about 9 vows now, don't they?
Yeah.
Right, it's time to go, and we're getting very grumpy.
We're very efficient. I feel we're very efficient in our movements as a family.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got it down, and we understand each other and the importance of being efficient. There you go.
Even getting out your car, like
we sound awful.
Have you noticed how, when sometimes we park up, I am out of the car in 1 second.
Oh, I'm not so much with that.
Seatbelt off, out. Let's go.
Right, keeping it Disney. Flying Flusky says, I've never managed to convince my other half to stay on property. We have to make such a trek from Paris every time. From Paris?
Oh.
Wow. I was just thinking Val d'Europe, but that's quite off property if you're staying in Paris.
What I like about Val d'Europe is you can stay there, and because last time we were there, I've not been into Paris, and I kind of felt like we'd been on a bit of a French holiday because we'd stayed in this little new town
and
been to the supermarché.
There's French cafes and terraces and places, like boulangeries and things. I think that a French person would probably say that's quite a touristic, quite far from authentic French town. But you do feel
I can pretend in my own head
you're out of the Disney bubble.
Yeah. It's time to be going, Have you got anything else there?
Well, yeah, there's all sorts of people saying all sorts of things. Cheryl says, we did like Newport Bay as we felt special, and Marvel Hotel will be in a few years as our boy gets more into that.
Mm-hmm.
Solo Show says, I had a solo trip planned. Oh, that's appropriate. To Walt Disney World, and all I could get was the Little Mermaid room at the Art of Animation. As a grown adult male, it felt weird. Luckily, a room opened at Pop and I was able to change. Oh gosh, it would have felt weirder if you'd chosen to go on the little pull down bed though.
See, I felt bad for saying that, but Stan did say that exact sequence of events happened to him, and he felt weird. So I feel vindicated.
Didn't you love brushing your hair in front of the mirror with the who's its and what's its though?
With the dingle hopper.
Yeah, with the dingle hopper. Right. Well, that's been a little off the rails. Have we gone off the rails a few times?
That is like the Diz Unplugged. They have a show called, is it called Off the Rails?
Off the Rails.
And their little jingle is, all aboard!
Newport Bay was, Mel says, Newport Bay was great for us. Having to change rooms at 1 a.m. They did everything they could to help us. Disney difference, folks. Disney difference. That's what we want. Are we doing anything Patreon-y today?
No, it's not set up, I'm afraid. Chris is back next week, and we're going to do it all.
I might be back by Patreon.
We keep putting things off and say next week and stuff, and we're aware. It's just, there are a lot of moving parts at the moment. So thanks for sticking with us.
It will get back to normal after next week, certainly after the end of July. After next week. It should get back to normal for a while, and then we have an actual Disneyland Paris trip booked in the middle of August, and then we should be good then. That should just be it, shouldn't it? I don't think any of us...
Could we do a live from Paris?
No, because we will be in the air. We're getting a very late flight from Heathrow to
a different day.
Could do.
I mean, there will be vlogs.
There will be vlogs.
They're not vlogs, sorry. I don't do vlogs.
I will be vlogging, and I will actually
do a video which has vlog elements.
I will have finished university, and I will be editing things again. It will be fun. Although I've really enjoyed university, and finishing it won't be fun. I don't want to. I'm enjoying it, but never mind. That's a different thing. And Yeah.
That's it.
So shall I say thank you? Oh, do you know what? I've just noticed. Who was it last week who was dead good and helpful and said, do you know there are 25 people watching this and only 2 people have liked it? And then we mentioned that and all of a sudden the like button went bing, 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 bing. So I'm going to say it now. There are 25 people watching but only 2 likes.
Now,
what gives?
If you've enjoyed yourself, give it a like. If you haven't,
if you think it's been a bit shambolic,
then, we don't want your charity.
Hey, somebody liked it.
We got one like.
We got 1 more like.
We got 2. That'll do. We've doubled it.
2?
We've doubled it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 5. Wow.
Look at this. 6. How long can we stay here doing this until we get 24? We're staying at 8. We're going to stay here till we get 20 at least.
Gifted.
No, we're not.
Right.
Thanks for that. 9. Yeah. So we'll say goodbye.
Thank you very much for watching.
There'll be 3 of us next week.
Are you going to have your finger ready to do?
You won't be here.
I might be back by Patreon show though.
Okay.
I've been Lucy. This has been The Boy. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.